2024 has that energy that we at the top of a roller coaster. And I mean, like, we just hit the top where we can see some of the rest of the roller coaster. Not even all of it, just some of it. But the part that we can see got us wondering why the hell we got on the roller coaster in the first place. Like, we know we about to lose everything in our stomach. That's what 2024 is feeling like right now. We're gonna talk about Diddy this episode. All right. I feel like I'm learning more in real time about Diddy than I ever cared to know or knew. Plaintiff Rodney Lil Rob Jones, Mr. Jones, hereby alleges as and for his complaint against defendant Sean Combs, Justin Dior Combs, Lucian Charles Grange, defendant Ethiopia Habti Mariam, Christina Coram, bunch of people, even got photos of them. Why they got Diddy's? Damn. All them photos Diddy got on the circulating on the web right now, and this the photo they choose. This is fucked up. This is how you already know they plan on throwing all kinds of shit against you. Lucian, he gets a professional headshot. He looked like he going to a job interview. Ethiopia looked like she belonged on her own way. Christina Karam looked like, again, she going for a job somewhere. That's crazy. The two black people in here, they got looking rough like that. That is why. He got a Facebook photo. I take that back. He got a Facebook photo. He got a MySpace photo. It's some serious ish that was being said. I'm telling you right now, I'm probably going to say some things that I probably shouldn't say. All right, so this is all about Mr. Jones and how he was like a child prodigy growing up, and then he was discovered by somebody who introduced him to Diddy, and then he joins Diddy's camp. But then Mr. Jones has secured irrefutable evidence of the acquisition, use, and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB. What the hell is GHB? Gamma hydroxybutyrate. It can treat narcolepsy. It's a drug to keep people who just out of nowhere awake. Displaying and distribution of unregistered illegal firearms, which Mr. Combs providing laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at his homes in Cali, New York, Virgin Islands, and Florida. That's the big one right there, right? That's the one that's got everybody really, really talking, especially with what's happening recently in the news with his homes being raided and everything, because it's all tied to what he's possibly doing with sex trafficking. It's weird that we're putting the minors on it. It seems like everybody that's referencing it is immediately going to he was sex trafficking minors, but that's not what was said. It was just sex trafficking, right? That could be adults. That could be adult men or women. Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact on his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. This is another crazy one, not because of the scale or the grossness of what's being alleged here, but would this really work? What Cassie said about Diddy, and let's see it in print, because it always hits harder when you can see it yourself and somebody ain't just talking out their butt. What did Cassie allege? Crazy, I gotta put Diddy on there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. In her suit, Cassie said Combs raped her, beat her in fits of uncontrollable rage, and exerted a tight control over her life. She alleged that he would force her to engage in sex acts he called freak-offs with other men, often sex workers whom he'd pay to travel with them while he watched. So, he had people on his team, according to this, that sole job was to just sleep with his girl for him to watch. That's a crazy allegation. And you tell me the whole way to clean that up is to have Bishop T.D. Jakes come up beside you and be like, "Yeah, he ain't that bad though. Yeah, he did what he did, but it's not as bad as they make it seem." That's not gonna work. Actor Cuban Gooding Jr. sexually harassing and assaulting Mr. Jones. This is another thing that's kind of getting me. Why does it seem like everybody that we grew up watching, especially in the black community, everybody got stories of them doing something with another man? Again, I don't think there's nothing wrong with you being gay or liking it. That's not the issue, bro. You live your life. Nobody should judge how you live your life. What I'm curious about, why does it seem like every actor that we have in such high esteem has a rumor slip out that talks about what they're doing with other men? And it's usually aggressive too. Here he's saying Cuba Gooding Jr. was assaulting him. Oh, there's more. We gotta scroll back up. There's a whole night that happened first. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends. See, we got to talk about that right there before I even go on. Because if you believe the moment that you joined this camp that you was being molded to be a sexual plaything for Diddy and his rich celebrity friends, why would you stay in that environment? This is the thing that be getting me when people be like, I stayed there for 10, 20 years because I was afraid of losing my career or I was afraid of the repercussions. Bro, it can't be no worse than being somebody's dumb sex thing. Basically, what I'm saying is, at some point, do you not have to take ownership for your decision to stay in a messed up situation, right? How long can you go, oh, I stayed getting touched up on by these various people because I was hopeful that my career would turn out in the way it would be profitable for me in the long run? You kind of complicit in that. Like, we got to start giving adults adult type logic. We got to keep treating adults like kids and being like, oh, you know, what was you? Like, yo, what was you? But also like, yo, you got to hold some of that because you stayed around that mess saying that you believe you was going to get groomed to pass off to some other people. That's crazy to have in the back of your mind, but you're like, I'm going to stick it out for a little bit longer though, just to see where it goes. During the introduction, Mr. Combs suggested that Cuba get to know Mr. Jones better. He then left them alone in a makeshift studio on the yacht, which is fly. A makeshift studio on the yacht. Could you imagine making music on a yacht, bro? I know they say that, yo, we all got the same studio in your basement. You know, if you know what you're doing, it's just as good as a studio in a mansion. Cap. No, it's not. A studio on a yacht puts me in a whole different mind space. A whole different type of creativity comes out my head when I'm floating in the middle of the ocean. And you know what I'm saying? I got the red lights going. It's just different. You can't tell me it's the same because it's not. Number 112, as evidenced by a video of which screenshots are embedded below, Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching, groping, and fondling Mr. Jones' legs, his upper inner thighs near his groin, the small of his back near his buttocks, and his shoulders, which is, again, what I was saying is different. It's one thing if I'm standing up and I don't see you coming for me, and you manage to sneak one off, bro. We still gonna have a problem, but I don't see it coming. So I don't have to sit around for that. You know, like, I mean, not sit around for it, but you might get a little bit more, you may get a little bit more off in that moment because I don't know what's happening. Hell, and we on a yacht? We on Diddy's yacht in Miami? I'm thinking it might be a bad female, maybe somebody I locked eyes with earlier in the night. She followed me upstairs. I'm thinking like, yo, it's about to be a good night. And then I turn around, you know what I'm saying? Then it's Cuban, then it's a problem. But if you sitting down, again, if you sitting down and then Cuban sitting down beside you, he gotta be mad close because he's not reaching over like this from far away. Nobody does that. Don't nobody put two couches beside him and then long ass arm reach over and start fondling you. That's somebody who's sitting close to you. Y'all was talking, maybe a little bit too intimate. He probably had a little something, so he leaned over talking to you, get real close. You can smell the alcohol on his breath. And then he put his hand on your thigh. And you know, I just imagine it's not gonna be no quick, like, oh, let me, as much as I can get. No, this is gonna be some certain dominance. So it's gonna be put the hand on it, and then you're gonna start slowly. You know how you do when you're talking to people you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? You put yourself out there to let them know that you're there. That's what I imagine went down. And so when you're sitting down, it's crazy because I would imagine that the moment the hand went down, you would be like, and then you would bounce. I don't know where you're gonna go because you're in a yacht. Hopefully the yacht's not in the middle of the ocean. But then he rejected his advances, and Mr. Cuban Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. Also, he did get him off of him. He got him up off of him. But yo, Cuba got a lot off before he was able to push him up, bro. He began touching, groping, and fondling Mr. Jones' legs. He did 3 things on one body part: touching, groping, and fondling. That's a lot of movement before you decide to get somebody up off you. And then he moved to his upper inner thigh near his groin and the small of his back near his buttocks. What is he doing back there with the buttocks? What the hell was that about? What was he going on back there for? So that means because he not two-handing you. Ain't no grown man two-handing another grown man. I don't believe that. So he wasn't groin back. It had to be hand, do up front, finish with the front, then come to the back. So at what point do you get somebody up off you? What point do you decide enough is enough? This is crazy. When you really start picturing what had to go down and how it had to happen, yo, this is wild. It's a wild story. Okay. And we're going to skip over the shooting stuff, man. We're going to move over into the salaciousness, the nastiness, like these photos that I just skipped right past. Like right here, this is Stevie J and a white girl. And apparently this is a video that Lil Rob had to watch of Stevie J tearing up this white girl. But, you know, from the other hole, right? Not the hole not that hole that I was going to say that everybody play with, but nowadays I feel like everybody playing the butt. Like, I don't feel like nobody don't play in the butt no more. Like, it used to be the thing in the 90s and the 2000s where people was like, oh, the butt, you gross. Now it's like, oh, how you not doing the butt? You gross. You know, it's different. But yeah, he had to watch that video, which it's weird again when we talk about charging somebody. Like if you had to go to court and you was like in front of the judge and in front of a jury, and it was like, why did you bring this defendant here today? He made me watch a sex video. I ain't like it. I ain't like when he pressed play. I ain't like that I had to keep my eyes open. I ain't like that it was another man in there having sex with a woman, and he made me watch it all the way through. That's a crazy charge. I feel like most people would be like, what are you doing in here today? So it's crazy. I get that they putting this in conjunction with everything else, but by itself, that's a weird charge And here's the thing. If I didn't want to see it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was too easy to, I don't want to watch it, so I'm not going to watch it. So it's crazy that he felt he was in a situation where he had to watch it. Like, if you really don't want to watch it, do it like you do a horror movie and you pretend like you looking at the screen, but really you underneath the screen. You ain't got to watch it. Also, wild that they were able to get the images from that sex video. Why is nobody deleting nothing? The following are screenshots of the video of Stevie J anally penetrating a Caucasian male. Oh, that's a boy. Oh, I thought that was a female. See what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Why is this the rumor? Why is this? I just understand why this seems to be the through line. The two through lines you seem to hear the most when it comes to Hollywood people, right? Children and men that you thought were straight actually being with other men. Like, those are the two things you hear the most. Again, one of them, that's your preference. You can do whatever you want to do. This one, the children thing, that's not your preference, homie. You got to be underneath the jail. That's crazy. They got a video and somebody is holding. Who was holding on to that video? Who did Stevie J send that video to for them to, look at it, but then also be able to keep it? Like, why would Stevie J feel comfortable with having that? Who's shooting this? This don't look like he's holding the angle. Holding the camera out. This looked like somebody was close up doing this. Diddy had cameras in every room and he was recording all the sex acts that was happening in his room. This angle don't scream hitting camera in the corner. This screams Randy with the camcorder up close to you trying to get that money shot. So he was forced to bring prostitutes back. Here we go. His images of, I don't even know what's happening here. 2 women, maybe? Why is she throwing up dubs like that? What's happening in this image? Either way, on or about February 2nd, 2023, Mr. Jones believes Mr. Combs drugged him. Mr. Jones recalls waking up naked, dizzy, and confused. He was in bed with 2 sex workers and Mr. Combs. He also recalls aimlessly wandering around the house with no clothes on. Yeah, that sounds about what it feels like to be drugged. That's crazy. I said that like I knew. I've never been drugged that I know of. Woke up. Okay, let's discuss it. Let's break it down a little bit further, right? Because the whole allegations here is that Mr. Jones is saying that Diddy made him have sex with other people and Diddy got to watch. He also had said that he believed Diddy was grooming him to pass him off to his other celebrity friends. In the order of this document, it appears the Cuban Gooding thing has already happened. I don't know if that's true or not, but if the Cuban Gooding thing has happened before this, Diddy has already got a level of confidence in what he can and cannot get this guy to do. So it's interesting that it's being alleged that Diddy had to drug him, because I would think that the level of power that we're saying Diddy has over this man's decisions, he wouldn't need to drug him. He'd just tell him like, yo, I want you in the master bedroom at 8 p.m. Take your clothes off and I'm gonna bring 2 other females and we gonna get it on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't need to go to like subtle tactics of manipulation. This is like saying that the dude who walked into Times Square and stabbed a bunch of people is the same dude that put a bunch of poisonous stuff in the mail and shipped it out. 2 different MOs. Or just a different vibe. Like, it just seems like 2 different people operating there. But that's a crazy thing to wake up naked, dizzy, and confused. 2 women, you, Diddy. That's sick. That's sick. What else are we doing here? We are also going to observe. So we're coming to the end here of this charges. We're going to move into like the recent developments here. So in Miami, Florida, on Thanksgiving night, Mr. Combs asked Mr. Jones and DeForest Taylor to enter the studio bathroom. He asked him for a $100 bill because he wanted to do cocaine with him, which is, again, 2 different lifestyles. When you talking about doing cocaine and you like, yo, who got the hundo? Let's just do it off the hundo. That's wild to me, bro. Like, people's doing this shit off the bathroom counter in nasty clubs. Diddy's like, nah, where the hundo at, man? Give me that hundo. And then probably lit that thing on fire and threw it in the toilet too. Different type of money, different type of lifestyles. Mr. Jones was scared, but luckily he didn't have a $100 bill. So Mr. Combs waited a little later to do coke with Young Miami and to have, to be so rich that you like, yo, I'm not doing coke unless it come off a hundo. That's the only way. If Benjamin ain't on it, I don't want to do no coke. That's crazy. Like, do you get a different high from a Benjamin? Somebody got to tell me, yo, if you've done one off a $100 bill, but you got to have done both though. You got to do it off a bathroom counter and a $100 bill. And then you got to tell me, like, is there, not promoting nobody to do that though, but let me know if there's a difference between the two, or is that just a power trip? Later that evening, he required Mr. Jones to solicit sex workers from Booby Trap, which is a crazy name. I've never heard of that, but Booby Trap on the river in Miami, which, let me tell you something. I've been to a lot of cities. I've lived in a lot of cities. Miami is different. Miami, I mean, y'all have been there. No, I feel like Miami's the only city where I felt broken before. That's the only city I've been to where I'm like, yo, I feel poor as hell. Most cities, most places, even in other countries, there's rich and a poor. And like sometimes the line is very wide and sometimes it's like right next door. You step over this line and you're in the rich side. You step back over this line, you're back in the poor side. But Miami got it like this. It's a mash. It's a nasty mash of rich and poor. The same dude who is scratching his nipple off asking for a burger on the street is going to be passed by a Lambo going 150 down the side road. It's crazy. Like I've just never seen so much wealth and poor all in one area. It's a crazy city. It's a city that I was like, I'll never go back to unless I'm rich. It's the only place I've been to where you get on a boat and they like, yo, that island right there, you're not even allowed to go on that island. Unless your name is on a list, you make a certain type of, income, somebody knows you on the island, you're not even allowed over there. That's crazy to me. That's like a visible barrier of like, you think we all equal and everything, but check this out. Don't bring your ass over to this island. And I bet you want to talk about some freak offs, go to that island where only rich people are allowed to go, celebrities are allowed to go. That's wild. And then they have images of the workers. Okay, look, I want to know the first thing you see when you see these images, right? What's the first thing that pops to your mind? I'll tell you what I saw. I'll tell you right now. Damn. I can't even see their faces. But these images, though? This is where I'm going back into being the sexually active individual for 13 years, being a grown man. Okay, we're talking about forcing somebody to have sex. Here's the only way that I can see a grown man being forced into having unsolicited sex. A gun is somewhere in the area, or you surrounded by a bunch of dudes who all got the same mentality, following underneath the orders of one individual. That's the only way I can see myself being forcibly put into a situation to have sex. Now you add into it, you being forced to have sex with two baddies. Again, we can't see their faces, but based off their bodies, damn. Yo, I'm struggling with saying it because I know people are gonna be like, yo, you part of the problem. This is why nobody can come out. This is why nobody can say it. But like, look, man, I'm just talking as a grown man. If you're in a room and another grown man is like, yo, you gotta sleep with these two beautiful women. And I'm like, nah. Then nah. Like, I don't feel like that's, how do you force somebody to take their pants off and sleep with two beautiful women? You know what I'm saying? Like, force is held your ass down and entered you. That's force, right? This is what is being alleged that Diddy did to the girls that he drugged. What he did to Cassie. This is like, against your will, physically dominating you. You can't move, go nowhere while I do things to you that you don't want done to you. How does that happen? How does two baddies come in and a grown man tell you got to have sex with them? Maybe I'm just using the wrong word. Maybe forced isn't the right word. Maybe they're using the wrong word because I didn't come up with this word. Maybe you should say he, against his will, no, not even that. He strongly protested. He strongly did not like having sex with these two beautiful women. That's different. And it could also be that maybe he likes men. That's different too, because then you're talking about being forced into a situation where you're not even playing in your field. This is not even what you into. Okay, I could see an argument for that. But then again, I still got to say, did they hold him down? Did they hold him down and then she had to get on top of him? How did that work? The force thing is where I get confused, and it's two baddies. It's a serious situation. I just don't understand how it, what did you fear? Did you fear that there was going to be physical repercussions to you or your family, or did you fear what was going to happen to your career? Because when we talk about, again, what happened to your career, then at some point I got to look at somebody as an adult and be like, okay, so you might not have liked it, but you still chose it. Like, that was your choice. Nobody actually was like, yo, get down and do this thing. You was just like, man, if I don't do this, I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do. That being drugged and waking up with Diddy and two women, that's crazy. That was actual force. You didn't have a choice in it. That's nasty. You having to go get two beautiful women and then they being like, yo, have sex with them. I need somebody to explain that one. Forcing somebody, that's a little bit more different. You might not have liked it, but at what point do we be like, yo, you an adult? If you didn't like it, don't do it. This one's titled, Mr. Combs and J. Combs solicit drugs and engages in illicit sex acts with minors and sex workers. On or about July 2nd, 2023 in Cali, Mr. Combs had a listening party at his home. Gotta get to a listening party, man. It just sounds like a good vibe. Present at this party was an R&B artist, 9, which I guess if I just go down here, yep, there it is. He's a Grammy Award-winning R&B singer who had trouble with law enforcement after assaulting a Bajan billionaire. Bajan billionaire assaulted by, I feel like this can't be that hard. Rihanna. I was wondering when they said Bajan, I was like, who was over there messing with the Bajan billionaire? Rihanna. Oh, wow. That changes some dynamics up. So present at this party was possibly Rihanna, J. Combs, sex workers, and some underage girls. The event began at 7. Mr. Combs requested female sex workers and acquired Mr. Jones to solicit them. He gets to pick the baddies. Did I bring that up? He's picking the women that he's bringing back. In addition to sex workers, there were at least 5 women in the crowd that were under the age of 16. Mr. Combs forced all the women to drink laced de Leon liqueur. Okay, see, now forced again is used here. This is definitely forced because you have children that cannot think for themselves. So maybe there's not just physical force, there's lack of mental comprehension force. You partying with a billionaire who makes music, who's popular, who's popping, you definitely gonna, whether you think so or not, gonna feel forced to drink some liquor. So that makes sense. Let's see here. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy. Mr. Combs did not check the identification of any of these underage girls. The presence of these underage women made Mr. Jones very uncomfortable. When was this? When did this take place? July 2nd, 2023. When did he come out with this damn piece? Filed 2/26/24. February 26, 2024. This is another thing, and I'm not just talking about Lil Rob here. Okay, this is something that it just feels prevalent with everything that's coming out in general when it comes to Hollywood and these sex parties. Everybody's like, at the time, I felt very uncomfortable. At the time, I didn't notice that she was underage. At the time, I wouldn't have been cool. You can't all say the same damn thing. You were complicit in it. You knew what was going on, and you might internally say that, okay, I wasn't cool with it, but you didn't say nothing either. And that whole I was worried about my career thing, I can't believe we still let that fly in 2024, bro. You was protecting your own ass. You had no care about what them girls was doing. And that's why you kept going back to the parties or you kept staying employed. This is just weird that we still letting people get off with like, I was uncomfortable in the moment, but like nobody else was saying nothing. So, or I was uncomfortable in the moment, but you know, I got my own mouths to feed. You wasn't that uncomfortable to leave is what I'm hearing. After being forced to drink laced De Leon shots, Mr. Jones began feeling lightheaded and recalls passing out and waking up at 4 a.m. the following morning naked with a sex worker sleeping next to him. Damn, again, he knocked out. How you keep getting knocked out and ended up naked with somebody, bro? I don't want to see screenshots of the night, man. Who's taking these photos and these videos? If these are underage girls, who's doing this? Who's documenting this? Where are these coming from? This is why they went to his house, because people got their phones out. This is nasty, though. If these are underage girls, though, oh, it is. It's Diddy with an underage female. Oh, this is nasty. Oh, yeah, no, he got to go. He got to get up out of here then. That's different. Oh, and that's why his son is there, because his son is there too. That's a nasty party. Okay. All right. So we read this stuff, man. Los Angeles home of Sean Diddy Combs was raided by Homeland Security investigations Monday in connection with a federal sex trafficking case. So the raid occurred at his $40 million home in LA's lavish Holmby Hills neighborhood. As you can tell, I ain't grow up around there. I don't know nothing about it because I can't even pronounce the damn neighborhood. Let's see. And they also raided the home on Star Island, which I think is the island I was talking about, that you have to have like be on a guest list or like know somebody to get on that island. That could be. We're not gonna look that up though, because that's not important right now. What's important is that both homes were raided by the Homeland Security Department. Stop. Turn that off. I just want to see the aerial footage, because that's crazy to have Homeland Security run up into your house. I hear it repeated time and time and again, and I gotta say I agree with it. Homeland Security ain't doing nothing, ain't moving a finger unless one of three things. One, they know for damn sure what they going after. They know where it's at. They know how it's been hidden there. They've had eyes on the house that entire damn day, which we're going to talk about, and they move in there because they know they're going to get it right then and there. Number two, somebody very powerful and some high up position was like, you guys take your asses up in there and you grab all of that immediately. And I mean, I'm not talking about the individuals that we see on television every day, the ones that we know. I'm talking about the individuals we don't see, the ones who got them really deep pockets, the one who were born rich and their parents was born rich and their parents behind them was born rich. Them individuals was like, y'all go open that house and y'all fix that. Y'all fix whatever that problem is. And number three, you're going in there to destroy some shit. which really ties into number 2, right? But these are the only ways Homeland Security is busting in, right? I say that like I run DHS or something, or like I know somebody from DHS. Nah, but I've messed around with law enforcement before, and I do know this. You not moving, you not getting a court document signed, you not moving until you have all your ducks in a tidy row, unless somebody is pushing you through the system, pushing you through the cracks, somebody with some juice who can get you through the red tape that takes so long to prosecute somebody. Not saying he's getting prosecuted right here, but there's a reason Homeland Security was up in that house that day. This is another thing that I wanted to say. Diddy not being there leads me to believe one of 2 things. Somebody who would push the juice, let him know, don't be home on this day. Because as I said, Homeland Security is not moving unless they know for a fact that what they want is in there, or who they want is in there, which means they've had eyes on that house for a week. They've had somebody stationed out there walking their dogs, pretending like they part of the neighborhood for a while. They know who's coming in, who's going out, and more importantly, when they're doing it. So you can't tell me that they moved in on this day at this time with no idea that Diddy wasn't going to be home. No, they didn't want Diddy home. Very clear. Otherwise, they would have Diddy. If they wanted Diddy, they would have had Diddy. Or 2, this was a last-minute operation, and something came out, something that we didn't get to see in the court documents, that made somebody do this very rapidly, and it was very much, we don't care about Diddy, we want the evidence because we don't want the evidence to fall into the wrong hands. It's up to you to decide what the wrong hands are. I mean, this is obviously in the conspiracy bag of things, right? I'm thinking out loud again, as we all do when it comes to like how things operate, the things we've seen in our own lives, how it moves. And now we're talking about put a billionaire in that. Now put a billionaire who rubs elbows with some of the most high profile individuals, not just in the celebrity world, not just in black culture world, but across the board, has them at his house, has them in his rooms. And we found out this man has cameras in every single one of these rooms. And I don't know what y'all thinking as rich people going to other rich people's house, because we've got plenty of movies on the subject. You go in there and you do some freaky freak off type stuff. Somebody's recording it. Why? Because now I got evidence on your ass. And let's say you're a judge. I think that's still too low level. But let's say you're a judge. Now I got a judge on my payroll because I got you with your ass up in the air with a dildo sticking out it. Yo, sometimes it feels like the Matrix is breaking right around us, right? Like back to my earlier example of being at the roller coaster. At the tip of 2024, we're at the top of the roller coaster and we're looking down and we can see some bits of what's playing out. And it's already looking crazy. And this is us hoping that God, we make it to back to the station. We get out and we get to laugh with our friends and family to see what's happening to Diddy right now. That's a crazy stop. That's a twist over there that we can see visibly. And how it ends, I don't know. I do think that eventually he's going to have to answer for some shit, right? Because they have photos. There's visual proof of this man with a girl, an underage girl, and you've got corroboration from an individual who was saying, I was there, I witnessed it. Now, you can obviously pay somebody off and make them do it, but I don't think, I think this is clearly this is an individual that's been in the camp. He's got 2 names, random names that he's putting out there. He's got dates. I think he's probably telling the truth. And then you got the thing that came out with Cassie, like right before the document came out, you had the Cassie thing come out, right? And so she's already gone on record saying how bad an individual he was. All of that comes together to say that he's got to pay in some way. Here's the thing about rich people that we know. Rich people tend to get lighter, better sentences than the rest of us would. You do what he's accused of, you'll never see the light of day. You'll be playing bunkmates with somebody named Bubba. Diddy does what he's accused of, and sure, he may go away and do some time, but I bet you will never see the inside of what that prison looks like. Bet you will have no idea what his cell room looks like. Probably looks better than my room right now. And here's the thing, how long would that be? Diddy's 54 right now. You gonna tell Diddy, we're gonna sentence you to 25 years. You gonna tell a billionaire, a black billionaire, which, you know, has its own connotations, right? Because what does it mean? Like Jay-Z says, still, you know what I'm saying? Still, but a black billionaire is gonna sit up in jail for 25 years at 54? I don't see him going for that, right? Not only that, what do we say? He has cameras in every single room. Every single room. Weird, this investigation, Homeland Security going in there. Look, we're not going to conspiracy theory land, but, you know, do your own numbers, right? You know what I'm saying? Connect your own dots. I would say one of the things that I'm confused about is we're seeing Diddy, a black behemoth in our culture, one of our few black billionaires, especially public-facing black billionaires, being torn down. Now, we've seen other black celebrities being torn down recently. How is it that these celebrities that are black, that are just getting to the B status, who are just getting money, who are just providing the generational wealth, are so quickly being exposed, are so quickly being torn down, when there's been institutions, people who we don't see publicly, people who we do see publicly, who have been handed down tons of money, who've been living this life since they were children. You're telling me none of them, not a single one of them, is doing nothing foul. How come I'm not seeing the same for those in different cultures that are uplifted, being torn down with the same intensity? I woke up this morning, my feed in a row. This never happens. 4 articles. Diddy, 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 Diddy. They wanted me, the media, the algorithms wanted me to see Diddy front face. Like, I ain't never seen so much of Diddy's face in my life. Let me show you. Let me show you Babylon. Hold on. Let me show you it. You got to see it. The movie Babylon is about partying, debauchery. Look at this cast. First of all, you see a single black person there? I'll wait. Oh, even if you scroll to the right. Oh, wait, not a single black person in there, right? Oh, turned up. Oh, crazy. Wild. Look at this. People passed out naked. Oh, look at that. That's a lot of bodies in there. I know some freaky ish going on there. That looks like a freak off, right? I ain't never been to a freak off, but I imagine this is what it looks like. That movie ain't about Diddy. That movie ain't got nothing to do with Diddy, but you got this idea from somewhere. Babylon, old Hollywood, the parties. This has been happening long before Diddy got on the scene, which tells me that there are so many more people that deserve to be torn down right now. But for some reason, Diddy is the focal point. When somebody that looks like Diddy, that looks like me, gets to a position of power and influence like that, something's coming out. Doesn't matter. Something is coming out. Some people can weather that storm. Some people don't. But we're not seeing that same microscope on other cultures is my problem. Which also leads me to believe that at some point Diddy must have pissed somebody off. This is the thing we go back to all the time when we start seeing people of significance like a Jonathan Majors, somebody who is quickly on the rise, and then suddenly everything that can go wrong goes wrong. Diddy seems like he told somebody very, very powerful, the wrong thing on the wrong time. And they was like, bet, you forgot your place. And now they are trying to snatch all that up, right? Because all of this is happening in the span of a year. I'm not in federal law enforcement. I'm not on the case. Maybe they've been watching him for a long ass time. What I don't understand, though, is you have all of this resource and time to bring Homeland Security into 2 of Diddy's houses, but you can't bring it into one of these Hollywood directors or actors. These actors that's going on 50 years old, hanging out with 23-year-olds. You can't tell me they ain't nothing suspicious over there. Why don't you go look over there? Go raid 3 of their houses somewhere in Italy and Britain. I'm off it. I'm done. That's the end of my rant. Thank you all so much for tuning in. That was Stand on Business, talking about Diddy. We got through it. It was a lot. This should be a short video. I hope it's a short video. Hopefully you learned something. Or if you didn't learn something, you got some thoughts, you put them in the comment sections below. I'm going to react to them. I'm going to read them. And we're going to share thoughts. We're going to discuss. We're going to discourse. If you disagree with what I said, that's fine. Put it in the comments. If you agree with what I said, that's fine. Tell me why you agree. Put it in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Without further ado, I ain't got no other words. Deuces. Bye. Peace. Go. Bye.
On magnitude, yeah, we going up, we a whole mood. Love to see a big win. Hop in the whip for a spin, headed for the top. Yeah, cute the violins. Glitter,